All right, well, we're going to go ahead and get things rolling here. Once again, we are Jason and Donna with ET Family Travel, and this is our series Wander Wisely. So, what Wander Wisely is we present once a month, twice a month about different destinations, different companies, different travel leaders, all kinds of different things. So it's to help you wander wisely, travel the world in a in a smarter fashion because you know what's out there to see and do. So, today we're going to be talking about the beautiful Sandals and Beaches resorts that are throughout the Caribbean. So we have a our guest, uh, Casey, that we'll be talking to in the end of the presentation. Who she's a BDM who represents Texas, New Mexico, a large area of the Southwest. So, but we'll be catching up with her in just a bit. But we're going to once again be talking about both of them, what they are, what they have to offer, and all of those kind of things. So, taking a look here, a little bit about us. It says that we're avid travelers ourselves. We've been to 80 plus countries, all 50 US states. We are travel advisors with ET Family Travel, which with ET Family Travel, our services are always free. So it doesn't cost you anything to plan with us. And we've had our travel blog called Pursuing Travel with the Millers since 2018, where we started to kind of write about the places that we've been to encourage people to see the world, learn about other cultures, and just get out there. So we're also you have YouTube and Instagram as of 2025. We're a little bit slow to get to that, but we're there now. So let's take a look. Why do we love Sandals and Beaches? To be honest, a few years ago, the only thing that we knew about Sandals and Beaches is we saw it looked really nice in the commercials on TV. Um, then we got to tour the Sandals Grenada and saw, wow, this is really nice. And then we actually stayed at a variety of the resorts, and we've since fell in love with the true all-inclusive nature and the beautiful beaches and the different styles and vibes in each of the resorts, because each one is a little bit different, and that Sandals and Beaches does what they can to try to make the resort share some of the flavors and the culture of the country that that particular resort is in. So taking a look, what I mean, there's Sandals has 17 different resorts. Sandals is the adults only version of the Sandals and Beaches. Beaches is the family oriented, so kids are welcome, full families. They might have some larger rooms categories and things there, but Sandals itself is across 8 different countries. So the great thing about the resorts is you can get that luxurious, romantic, all-inclusive kind of look for a particular resort, but you can go to 8 different Caribbean nations um, while you're while you're staying at different Sandals. So once again, beaches right now, they have 2 family-friendly resorts in Jamaica and the Turks and Caicos. The picture that's down there is Beaches Turks and Caicos, and that's Grace Bay Beach, which is we've been to 80 plus countries. That is to us the probably the best beach that we've been to, with the white sand and just amazing clear water. I mean, it's just a wonderful place to go. That's just heavily recommended, for sure. And beaches, they're going to be opening another beaches in the future in Exuma in the Bahamas. So that'll be really a great place to go. And it's another island that's famous for the swimming with the pigs. So that tradition in the Bahamas came from Exuma. So, taking a look, when you talk about all inclusive, what does that mean that's really included for sandals and beaches? Well, it really, when they say all inclusive, they mean that it includes, because we've been to other all inclusive hotels and resorts, and they're, very nice, but Sandals, we found, includes way more than those. So, from specialty restaurants, if you are patty certified, and you can become patty certified, that does cost extra at the Sandals and Beaches resorts. But patty certified, you actually have diving that's included, so no extra cost. Snorkeling, we've done multiple snorkeling trips, where they will take us out to a reef, and we go out there and snorkel, and that is included in the cost of the your trip. I mean, water sports, land sports like pickleball is all the rage nowadays. So there's plenty of pickleball courts out there. Golf, the all tips, taxes, and gratuities. So with that, like usually what happens with us when we go to a Sandals or a Beaches resort is my wallet goes into the safe as soon as we get there, and I don't pull it out until we leave. So it's a truly, once you're on the resort, I mean, you can charge if you go to the gift shop and get something like our Sandals and Beaches shirts that we got here. Those are, you can charge it to your room or pay by credit card. But beyond that, other than, the spa, of course, like if you want to go get a massage is extra. But they also have, the top shelf liquors and wines are available. And a really big thing for us is the round trip airport transportation that's included. So being able to, you know, when you get go to the when you get it's basically when you get off the plane and go through passport control. Basically, you don't have to worry about anything until it's time to go back, because they handle let you know what time you need to check out, what time you need to go to the airport, and it works seamlessly each time that we're there. So, looking a little bit once again, like that's a picture from our snorkeling in the Negril. So you can see just all the beautiful coral in the distance, and those fish, which I'm not quite sure what kind they are. They were pretty interested in me, so kept coming around. But that was included, the airport transportation. You got wellness activities, like we've done water aerobics, that was included, and all kinds of other activities and things, and then entertainment. So let's get into some of our actual experience. So taking a look here, this is at Sangster International Airport in Montego Bay. You'll this is the As soon as you arrive and go through passport control, you head to the a lounge where they immediately start taking care of you right there. So you find your way to the lounge, And that we found that there's also a lounge like this, like in Nassau, for example. And you go there, you hand them your bags, and when it's time for you to be taken to your hotel, your resort, then they call you so you can wait in the air conditioning here. And there's more to it. They actually have snacks and things there too, so the all-inclusive food aspect starts at the airport. So you can get, like you see here, plantain chips and all kinds of local kind of foods and things like that. So your cultural immersion starts there too. So you also got, coffee, drinks. You could have a beer while you're waiting. It's whatever suits your fancy. You have that available to you at the arrival lounge. And then when you're there, something included, this was Caribbean night at Sandals Negril. So you can get into the culture and people there. And then, of course, I mean, when everyone thinks of all inclusive, they think of food. Well, we found that the food was is really good, and something that's pretty unique about Sandals is what I mean by up there by dine around the world is you can there's up to 23 different cuisines from around the world at Sandals and up to 21 at Beaches. So meaning like I mean we've each resort has its own and legitimately flavors. So of different foods from different countries. Also, some you can get local cuisine, so you can try the food of the country that you're in, and drinks are included. So, I mean, plenty of bars, swim up bars, and things like that, and you can pretty much get any kind of drink that you would want. So taking a look also the accommodations. They have very nice luxurious accommodations. This is was our room at Sandals Negril, which was a two-story bedroom butler suite. And it was really nice. So, but they have rooms for a variety of budget levels and needs and things like that. So, it varies for what you would like. So now we're going to get into a few of the resorts. This isn't, we've experienced, had some experience at other Sandals resorts, but these are the ones that we physically stayed at least stayed a night there. So Sandals Negril, Sandals Royal Caribbean, which is in Montego Bay. This resort, I'll get into the situation with that resort in just a bit, and then also Sandals Royal Bahamian. So Sandals Negril, this is in the western tip of Jamaica. Negril is known for its beautiful sunsets, and I can tell you that every day that we were there, we were treated to a completely different sunset. So it's you can look at our YouTube channel and see some of the because I did in our virtual vacation, our relaxing travel videos, several beach Sandals Negril sunsets that are out there. This resort's a little bit of a larger resort, somewhat spread out, and there's a lot of different accommodations where you can see from, like the two-bedroom the hotel rooms. You have beachfront, like beach facing rooms that face the garden view, which I can tell you, Sandals and the Grill, like when you walk around the resorts, they keep their gardens top notch. It's very pretty with the flowers and things like that. They have swim up rooms, you name it, and they generally have it. And there's multiple pools here as well at this resort. So taking a look once again, this was our accommodations there, and let's take a quick little look through it. There's the first story. So we have our, nice couch and TV down there, and there's an AC unit for both the downstairs and upstairs, and you also have the top shelf liquor in your room. So another kind of view from outside, because if you can see, you step out the door, the beach is just right there in the distance uh, for this particular room. Here's the upstairs. So you have, the king size bed. The thing about Sandals, at least right now, is the rooms are meant for two people, so a couple that that's in there. It doesn't mean that you can't have, like, a girls trip or anything like that, but they're not going to have separate beds in the room at Sandals. That's Beaches that will have that. For us, this is absolutely perfect. So the balcony that you actually have a soaking tub out on the balcony. We were able to sit on the balcony and watch the beautiful sunsets. There was a wedding that took place at the gazebo that's not in view in this picture, but that's right in front. So that was interesting watching a Sandals wedding that is also a pretty seamless process. So, taking a look here, let's dive into the food that we experience at Sandals Negril. So, one night they had a legitimate beachfront, um, a legitimate beachfront party where we tried food from the Caribbean, rice and peas, fried plantains, jerk chicken. So lots of different kind of foods there. We also went to Kimonos, which is one of our favorite restaurants in the Sandals and Beaches resorts, and that's the Teppanyaki Hibachi restaurant, where you can get plenty of great food. With Crema, which is their coffee bar, so you can get coffees, little snacks. So, you know, you can get hot chocolate or the milkshake, of that nature. So you can come there. They have that at Sandals, and then you have Brava. This is, once again, we haven't seen this, and you can see the sunset in the distance if you look closely. So go to the restaurant and you can eat with that beautiful sunset view and the sound of the waves crashing while you're there. But yeah, taking a look there, this is Brava, which is Spanish tapas style. So it's all you can eat tapas basically. So I mean, the food was great. So, like, a potato dish that we had, this garlic shrimp was really, really good. Um, and then looking at this, the chimichurri steak was really delicious. So that, we really enjoyed. And once again, you can say, hey, we want another plate of the chimichurri steak, and they'll bring it to you. So moving on to Sandals Royal Caribbean. So this one is in Montego Bay. So it unfortunately was hit um, pretty hard with Hurricane Melissa that devastated Jamaica. So this one is scheduled to reopen during the summertime, that May, June, that general kind of time frame. That could fluctuate and everything. And that's another reason to go to Jamaica, is to help in their recovery, because tourism is so important to Jamaica. So it's definitely a great idea to go back. But you can see the Sandals Royal Caribbean's a little more compact. that so it has a little more intimate feel than some of the more spread out resorts. And it also has another very interesting feature. As you can see, it has its own private island. So anybody can go to the private island, where there's some restaurants there and another beach and things. And you can also stay there with the if you want to get a overwater bungalow, because this particular resort has the bungalows. Not all of them do. So this one has a different vibe than Sandals Negril. This one is, and you actually get joined, uh, get a nice song sing this when you join in. So when you arrive, so we were greeted by a really nice song, and this is more the colonial, like the think about like the British, having Jamaica as a colony. So that's the kind of vibe that you get here, is that kind of quaint, quiet, and beautiful landscapes. So you can see here, taking a look at the property. I mean, you can see the lush gardens there. You got plenty of pools once again. And it gives you the vibes of of Europe in a way, with a Caribbean kind of flair to it. So once again, taking a look at just some of and they have, that's one thing that's also, if you want a quiet swimming pool, you have a quiet swimming pool. If you want to go where the party's at, they got that too at the different resorts, where they have a DJ and other kind of activities and things. So once again, taking these are not they're not officially like walkout pool rooms that are there, but you can see that the pool's pretty close to your room at this particular, and you can just see the different architecture that you got here compared to some of the other resorts. And here's our room that we stayed at there. So once again, plenty of sink space. You got well decorated and with scenes of Jamaica. This one has the shower. You can drop that curtain if you want to, or if you really want to spice up the romance, you can leave that window open and look out into the room. But you can see the furnished very nicely. You got a ceiling fan. That's I like sleeping with a fan, so that is a very nice extra aspect. Once again, the soaking tub out there, and you can see, looking out there, the beautiful view of this resort, and we could kind of see the ocean from there. But you can also see some swim up rooms there at the particular building that we were staying at. So there's the private island. We actually didn't get a chance to go over there, but it's home to their Thai restaurant. So that's another unique area. And there's one of the boats that brings you back and forth to the island. So, and the overwater bungalows were being refurbished at the time that we were there. So we went to and ate at the French restaurant at this resort. So they gave us a welcome drink, some one of my favorite types of soup, French onion soup, the a really nice steak or tenderloin kind of dish that was really really good, very juicy, and then the dessert that had a brownie with some ice cream, and it was all delicious. So going over the last Sandals resort that we're going to be discussing is one that we went to not too far back, and that's Sandals Royal Bahamian. So this one, as the Bahamian says, this is actually in Nassau. So it's actually Nassau's the city. New Providence is actually the island name that you have there. And this one is on New Providence Island, and it's on Cable Beach, which is one of the more famous beaches. And actually, like about a mile down the beach, if you're a James Bond fan like I am, it's actually the Largo's Grotto. The his during the movie Thunderball, his mansion is down the villain's mansion is down the beach. So you can kind of step foot in the footsteps of Bond. This one's also a little more compact resort, a little more intimate, and the architecture is definitely Bahamian. But the Bahamas, like for example, their Capitol building is pink, so you can see a lot of the pinks and things like that are in there. And once again, there's a pool for the DJs. There's a quiet pool. In the wintertime, it was the beach water, where the ocean water was a little bit cool because the Bahamas are further up north. They're actually in the Atlantic. They're not truly in the Caribbean. But their pool was heated, so we went to swim in the evening and everything like that. And plenty of other facilities. And you'll also notice a pretty good size private island. And while we were there, somebody rented out that entire private island for a wedding, so that's available to you, to go to. And also great restaurants and things like that. So taking a look, um, let's take a look at the resort, and we'll get into beaches here soon. So there's a sign there talking about the British royalty that have stayed not necessarily at Sandals there, but in the Bahamas themselves. So talking about stories that Queen Elizabeth, the Princess Margaret, Anne, have stayed there in the Bahamas. And Edward, when he abdicated, he came to the Bahamas. So that when they say it's the Royal Bahamian, I mean, there's plenty of royalty that have stayed in the Bahamas. So taking a look here, this is when you leave the airport, and they're holding on to our luggage there. They have drinks and things available, but this is the Sandals welcome area that you have when you first arrive. And here's our room that we stayed at. So a very nice room that fully stocked. They restock your refrigerator at all the Sandals every day. And so plenty of different drinks, sodas, juice, champagne, whatever you might want. They have it there. So plenty of space within the room. We had a garden view room, so ours overlooked the garden area. So very, very nice view, even with looking out that way. So it would be nice to sit and relax and enjoy, just looking out there. No soaking tub in our room here. So also, once again, decorated very nicely, the room. And we did something here that I'll go over in a minute that we haven't done before, is we ordered room service at that Sandals, because that's also included. No extra cost. We had flown in, and it had been kind of a long day. Got up early for the flight, so it says, you know what, let's just get some room service. but very nice accommodations there. And they also have luxurious, bath products that you can get from the Red Lane Spa, which is their spa at Sandals and Beaches. So let's take a look at the property itself. So you got this is the quiet pool. So very nice. They have the fire pits that are there that you can warm up by at rooms that are there. You got this was our building that we were in right next to the. You can see some of the water activities that you can do that are all once again included. There, you also have the cabanas that are there, and you also have the beautiful water. So it's just relaxing and nice to see there. There's the private island out there that you can go to by boat. It's not open, 24 hours. But so yeah, the last boat I believe is around 4 or 5 o'clock to come back. And once again, plenty of if you like taking pictures and stuff like that, plenty of great places to get your picture at, like this pink British telephone booth with all the beautiful flowers. And here's our room service. We got jerk chicken salad, some nachos, and just a charcuterie board kind of plate. So that was plenty. They got it to us pretty quick and it was all tasty. So the kind of restaurants that we tried here, we went to Tesoro, which is their Italian restaurant that has a nice salad bar, and we got great pasta. Canoe is their buffet because each of the resorts does have a buffet. So we went there for breakfast before, and they change out the kind of cuisine. It was Asian food when we went for lunch. So we had, a stir fry, fried rice, all kinds of things. But you go there the next day, it'll be something different. So we went to La Plume, which is their French restaurant at this particular resort. Very beautiful, decorated, elegant restaurant, and it overlooks. You sit by the window and you can look out at the pool or see what's going on out there. So taking a look at the different area, but it's open for breakfast and dinner. So we went there to breakfast and got some really good banana French toast. The normal, you can get eggs, an omelet, whatever you want. And then for dinner, of course, had to get our French onion soup, which is my personal favorite, and then a very tender cut of beef that was really, really good. You can just see the juice and everything that from it. So delicious food there. And then the dessert is also was really, really good. A caramel pastry. So, absolutely delicious. And we stopped by the steakhouse. Some restaurants, just to note, do need reservations, like Brava, that we went over in the grill, the steakhouse, the French restaurant, kimonos for teppanyaki. Those do require reservations. But a lot of the restaurants are also walk-in, and there's a culinary team that will help you make your reservation, or you can do it on your app because you can download the Sandals app. So kimonos, once again, that we got to go there and got a real nice taste of teppanyaki. They start you out with appetizers, so you can get dumplings, you can get spring rolls, miso soup. So a lot of different options there. And then, of course, you get your show while you're there. Sometimes they will be locals and they'll be singing Bob Marley songs or whatever. Um, our particular chef was from Nepal here, and he was doing a little bit of a fire show there, and he was checking to make sure nobody's eyebrows had been singed, and no, they were not. The Everything was good, but you got the for the here you get the Emperor's Feast, and it really is a feast. We had shrimp, fish, chicken, beef, fried rice, all included. And another thing that Sandals does good is like this is to majority rule day. So this is when the Bahamas got more self-governing. They hadn't become independent just yet. That was in 1973, but 1976 they were starting to break away from the United Kingdom. So they have the holiday, and they make sure that they bring some of that culture and history to the guests. So once again, just beautiful. And if you really want to go in style, if you book a more premium kind of package, they'll pick you up in a Rolls Royce and bring you with white glove treatment. You can have a wedding there. This is an overwater chapel that they have there, or do a vow renewal, or whatever you might decide. And once again, the beautiful uh, gardens. And this just shows you a little bit of an example. We toured a few different rooms while we were there. You can have an anniversary package, and you can see that for them they had everything ready for them for their anniversary. Or you can do a honeymoon package as well. So plenty of things that Sandals will do, and beaches to accommodate you. So speaking of beaches, I am going to be quiet for a little bit, and Donna is going to talk about what we like about beaches.
Hello, everyone. So beaches. We have been to both beaches resorts. We've been to beaches Turks and Caicos and beaches Negril. Beaches Turks and Caicos is a very large, spread out resort, while as beaches Negril is a little bit more compact, easier to get around and do things. Like I know when we were at beaches Turks and Caicos, I think we probably walked 16,000 steps every day. It was a lot, but it was a great resort and a lot of fun. So we stayed at the Caribbean Village. Um, this is the lobby area that you will get in whenever you come in. To the side is the buffet over here. Um, here is our room. It has a king bed and then a trundle bed. So this room can accommodate four people. Um, so great for families. And this is one of the more central villages. There's four different villages in the Turks and Caicos resort. So it's located on Grace Bay. Like Jason said, this is one of the best beaches that we have ever been on, and we've been to many beaches, but the water is just so clear and calm, and you could just get in and just float there for hours and just be relaxed. It's really beautiful and really relaxing. This is the Italian Village lobby area. Um, So in this area, I believe it has the yo-yos and Mario's for where you can make reservations for dinner. So this here is the French Village. You could see that it has more of a French architecture, the buildings, and every single village has its own pool. This is your French Village pool. This is your Key West Village. Um, excuse me. This you can notice that it looks a lot like the Hemingway house. So the architecture is different in each village is I guess what I'm trying to say. So this is like going to be more of a Key West architecture. All the architectures of the different buildings match the village. So this is getting into the water park area. This here is your lazy river, which is my happy place. I love lazy rivers. They're nice and relaxing, and you could just sit there and relax. Where I think we're about to have some cats visit us. So yeah, and they have a little restaurant here. This is Sopadia's. We went there. It is an adults restaurant. Well, it's 12 plus. So you won't have any little kids at this restaurant, but and there is a dress code. I mean, it's not a strict dress code, but you can't exactly go there in like shorts and a t-shirt. Like you need to have some slacks and a polo or a casual dress to go in. Yo-yos is one of my favorite things at beaches. I love yo-yos. Basically, it is a frozen yogurt shop and they change the flavors every day. So every day you can get a different flavor and they have different toppings you could put onto it. And I just love it. I mean, what's not to love? So this is Cricketer's Pub. And we went there because Jason loves wings, so we couldn't leave without him trying wings. And this is where you would get them. And you could get them late night, you could get them at lunch, and we got late night wings. So this is Mario's, the Italian restaurant. We did eat here, but this picture is just to show that we do have Sesame Street characters at the resort. And something that they could do, that you could have them do tuck your kids in at night, Sesame Street characters. There's so many things that you can plan with Sesame Street characters if you have any fans of Sesame Street in your group. Cafe de Paris. This is where we went to get coffee. This is in the French village. And they have pastries, cakes, coffee, ice cream. That's my coffee right there. I'm a coffee girl, so I need my coffee every day. So, Beaches the Grill. This is Beaches the Grill, and as you can see, it is not as spread out. So this one has three different villages. The Reggaeville is the central village that's going to be closer to the water park and all the activities. So if you're somebody that wants to be right in the middle of the activity, that's where you want to be. Then there's the Island Village, which is on the southern side of the resort. And it's also going to be a little closer to the water park and stuff to be closer to the activity. And then there's the Calypso Cove, which is a more relaxed northern part of the resort. So these are you're seeing what the resort looks like there. Here's Sesame Street characters again. You got um, Cookie Monster greeting guests. And here is your water park. It is a little smaller than your one that you have at Beaches Turks and Caicos, but it's still a lot of fun. And you still have all the things that you have at Turks and Caicos, just in a smaller scale. And here it's at a pirate theme. You have restaurants around the outside. Here this is Mariachi's, which is a Mexican food restaurant that we ate at while we were there. It's right next to the pool. And then behind Mariachi's is going to be Yo-Yo's. They also have barbecue. They also have like a pizza place. And there's Yo-Yo's right there. Again, they changed the flavors every day so you could try something different. They also have toppings that you could put on. And so you could have a wide variety of different types of frozen yogurt. So this is the kids club. So the great thing about the kids club at Beaches is it goes from ages from diapers, like so little babies, all the way up to like teenagers. So here is where they have the nursery, and they do actually have diaper change service. So if your child needs you dirties their diaper, they're not going to call you to come change your child's diaper. Like they're going to handle it. They're going to handle any issues, or if your child's crying, they will handle that. They're not going to call you for every little thing. So you can enjoy your time while your kid is in the kids club. This is for the like younger kids, like I would say like maybe 5 to 8. To play and have fun with other kids. Here's the departure lounge. This is where you can sit and relax while you're waiting for your departure to come and take you back to the airport. I know that part is no fun, but we got to do it at some point.
Okay, well, I am back. So, yeah, the beaches is wonderful. And I mean, they have special programs for people with autism and things like that as well. And yeah, the departure lounge is each resort has that. So if you have to check out and you have a later flight, there you don't have to sit outside in the heat if you don't want to. You can go hang out in the lounge. So another thing that's nice about Sandals is the Sandals Foundation, that they like, if you look at like Trustpilot and things like that when it comes to talking about uh, you know charities, that this is highly rated because 100%, there's no overhead. Anything you donate goes back to those who need help in the Caribbean. So in the communities that you're there at, they will handle it, will help. So they're doing a lot of good work in Jamaica, for example, helping the people there that are struggling. And you can do things like when we went to Beaches, Turks and Caicos, we brought school supplies and they donated the school supplies on our behalf. So you can they call it pack with a purpose. So you can actually pack and help those in need wherever you might be going, or you can donate to it as well. So now we're going to get into our kind of discussion part and questions that we're towards the end of our presentation here. So we're going to ask Kasie a few different questions about sandals that we hear a lot of people ask. So Kasie, we welcome you to Wander Wisely. So the first question for you is, each resort kind of has a different vibe and everything. So what resorts, like, would you say, for honeymooners, or romantic, for the foodies, or families, of course, is going to be beaches, resorts. But which one of the ones that we've been to do you kind of prefer for the different types of guests?
Yeah, well, first off, thank you both for having me on. It's been amazing watching your presentation. I can say I'm definitely hungry after watching kimonos and all that food go by. The food part is definitely one of my favorites. I think Sandals does it perfect when it comes to our food. But for your question, so which guests tend to love each resort most? Well, that's kind of one of the most important things I think about Sandals, and one of the most important reasons for you all to reach out to Jason and Donna for planning your trips, because each resort is so different. Like, you're going to get the all inclusive at each resort. We pick you up from the airport, we bring you on resort, your food, drinks, activities are included, but the vibe of each resort is so different. So, like, if you are wanting to celebrate a honeymoon or retie the knot, we would send you over to the most romantic resort of all in Antigua, Sandals Antigua. If you're looking to have fun and socialize, we might send you down to Jamaica, staying at Sandals Montego Bay, or maybe Sandals Ochi, where we have the only speakeasy and you can wear your 1940s flapper dresses and go to a prohibition bar. If you like scuba diving, we have Curacao that has over 75 different dive sites. You get your 2 tank dives, that's included. So there really is something different for everyone. And that's why you want to reach out to Jason and Donna. That way they can make sure that they know what your goals are for your vacation, and they can match you up with that perfect resort for you.
Excellent. So then another thing is, a lot of people talk about, like, the pricing, with sandals and things. So what's kind of the misconception that you hear from people? I mean, I can tell you from my side, it's, oh, it's a high price point, but to me, the thing is it's the value that you
It
look at.
is, and I think what gets people is they're seeing the total cost of their vacation all at one time. Normally, when you go on vacation, you might see the cost of your flight and your hotel, but you're not thinking about, the price of gas, the price of your breakfast, lunch, dinner, drinks, entertainment. So when people initially see that price, I mean, there's no hidden cost. You're seeing exactly what your entire vacation is going to cost. And when you talk about value, your breakfast, lunch, and dinners, and you can order as much as you want. You can go eat as often as you want. If you want to try every single dessert, you can. At breakfast, you can have smoothies, coffee, a mimosa. You could have a bottle of wine with your dinner. So your entertainment is included, and we have some of the best water sports too. When you talk about the fact that we have glass bottom boats that take you out to go snorkeling. We have Hobie cats that they'll teach you how to take a little sailboat out, and then you can go sailing along the coast, which is absolutely amazing. We have kayaks, paddle boards, some of the best entertainment every night. There's something different to go and do, from opera singers to comedy shows to dancing around the world. So the value that you're getting is just uncomparable. And, if you just don't think of it as, that one big price all at once, that's covering everything for you.
Yeah, and that's what we found is, like, I mean, the transportation alone, like, you think to Sandals Negril, it's about an hour from the Montego Bay airport. That if you purchase your own transportation for that, I mean, that would be, $100 or more, maybe per person. So, I mean, you get all of that included in your price. And like I said, that when I go, my wallet goes in the safe. I don't touch it until it's time to go, basically. So, you've paid for everything, and now you just enjoy your trip. So, taking a look at the beaches resorts, What do families say, like when they, because they might go to a lot of different resorts, but what do they like about beaches, compared to other all-inclusive resorts?
Yeah, and our beaches brand is just absolutely amazing. You kind of touched on that autism as well. Every single person on site is trained in autism and how to recognize children with special needs to really be able to understand and provide support. We have a partnership with Sesame Street that is so much fun. Even me as an adult, when I saw Cookie Monster on resort, it's always so exciting. And like Donna had mentioned in the presentation, there's so many fun activities that you can plan with the different Sesame Street characters. You can do reading bedtime stories with Elmo, cooking with Cookie Monster. On Fridays, if you're lucky enough to be staying over Friday, they do an absolutely amazing carnival through the resort with fire dancers, all of the characters, a DJ. They've got vendors from the island for you to do shopping, and it's just such a fun experience. We have the water park with the lazy river and the surf simulators. We have the nanny services from 0 on up. And there's so much to do. And what's really nice about it is no matter what age, it's such a great multi-generational resort for everyone. It's such a great place for family reunions or group trips because there really is something for everyone from, all of the water sports and entertainment, the water park, the kids camp where they have it separated by age. So your kids are getting their own fun, unique experience, doing scavenger hunts and arts and crafts. So there really is something for everyone there.
Yeah, and I mean we do not have kids, but when we've been to beaches and everything, we loved it. Like the unique place, like going to yo-yos, for example, and things, the activities and stuff. So if you're kind of a kid at heart, it's great for you. And a bonus, if you stay at the Sandals Negril, you actually, as an adult, you're able to go over to Beaches Negril, and enjoy any of the restaurants. They have Peruvian food over there. Didn't get a chance to try that restaurant, but that's a unique cuisine once again. And you have the ability to go there. If the kids are not able to go to Sandals unless it's like that, they make for weddings and things like that. Sometimes the children can come over to Sandals for a little bit, but you have to work with your wedding planner on that. But it's just it's a great place to go. The thing to note, to be completely transparent, that you do have to pay for a cab. There's no kind of like shuttle service between Sandals Negril and Beaches, but it's not too expensive. It's like $20, and to go over there and enjoy all of that, for us it was worth it. So taking a look at that, it says the what let me go back to that one. What makes Sandals and Beaches? We've kind of touched on some of this already, but that's different, and from other all-inclusive, like in Cancun, or some of the places that people go for all-inclusives.
Yeah, and I think what a lot of people don't realize about Sandals too is we are a family-owned company from the Caribbean. The owner, Adam Stewart, is absolutely amazing. And there's just a love for the Caribbean, the people, for what we do, and that just shows. We're not some huge company like Hilton. You can literally go me, my boss's boss, and then Adam Stewart. So it's just a lot more smaller than people think, a lot more family oriented, and you're going to feel that difference when you're on resort. Just the level of service, the love, the passion, um, the staff remembering your names. When you go to the same bartender and they remember you and become a friend, and they know your drink, and it just becomes such a different experience. Compared to some of the other resorts, we also don't have the wristbands. There's no tipping pressure. You are not even allowed to tip, because when we say this is an all-inclusive, we want it to truly have that feeling.
Yeah, and that's something to that. I mean, the friendliness, like we saw earlier, they greet you with a song at some of the resorts, and I mean, we felt that too, the kindness. And for we would sit down, for example, we're having a conversation with one of the bartenders at the swim up bar, just talking about our experiences, his experiences. So I mean, it's like you're meeting new friends and things there. So we've been impressed with that, with Beaches and Sandals as well. So tell us a little bit, like touched on some of the Sandals Foundation, but maybe kind of touch on some of the what's going on with Hurricane Melissa recovery and some of the other kind of things that they do.
Yeah, so the Sandals Foundation is absolutely amazing. We have tons of programs for you to be able to take part in, which I think really sets your vacation apart to really be able to be involved with the community and give back. And that's one of the things that I absolutely love about Sandals. Jason, what you mentioned earlier about the pack for a purpose. You can always bring supplies and drop it right off at the front, and you know that that's going to directly affect the communities in that area, which is huge. We do so much, everything from, providing school supplies, training, college education. We do so much in the community as far as, environmental work. We have different things that you can take part in. Also, going to the schools and being able to read to the kids there. That is such an amazing experience to take part in. One of the most amazing experiences that I did that I loved in Jamaica too is releasing the turtles. So it's so neat. You actually go and protect the little baby turtles from the birds as they have to make their journey into the ocean for the first time, and you hand them over and they clean the turtles and tag them, and then you protect them on their journey as they have to make it to the ocean. And it was just such a neat experience to be part of. And these are different things that you can actually have Jason and Donna add to your trip to really give that being involved and giving back.
And that's important in travel, is sustainable travel. So it's not all take, it's give back to the locations and things that you're doing, that you're going to. I mean, they say, leave only footsteps on the beach, which that's true when it comes to, don't litter and things like that, but you do want to try to make an impact in anywhere that you go. So, with that being said, do we have any questions for Kasie or us? You can put them in the chat if you have. We'll take a couple of minutes to see if there's any kind of questions that we got. Donna's monitoring the questions, and if you don't, we'll be closing out here pretty soon. But anything come through?
Mm-mm.
Okay. Well, the one thing that I can say is, if you think of any questions that you might have, once again, we are here. Um, for you, and this is one of those beautiful sunsets in Sandals Negril. So once again, like we can book your Sandals and Beaches vacation. If we don't know the answer to it, we have plenty of resources. We can talk to Kasie. We can talk to a variety of kind of people with ET Family Travel. And our services, once again, are free for you to use. There's no fees or any kind of thing like that. And the benefit you get is our experience, that the 80 plus countries, experiences with sandals and things like that. You can get all of that, but by using us. And versus when you go to a big company or something like that, we're going to be there for you as well. We have dealt with when people have mishaps and things, they contact us and we will help them out, our clients. The way I put it is we're your mission control for your adventure. So we'll get to have everything set up. And then if you have questions or any kind of concerns or anything while you're on your trip, you contact us and you will get a real person versus a messaging service or, anything like that. So definitely, consider using us to book your vacation near or far, and definitely your Sandals and Beaches vacations. So once again, thanks to Kasie for joining us. And she's a very busy person, being representing Sandals for the state of Texas, which is huge. But she also is the representative for plenty of other states as well. So she's got a lot of work. So we appreciate her taking her time out to come speak with us and answer a few questions about Sandals and Beaches. And they'll be next month. We're going to have another Wander Wisely, and that Wander Wisely is going to be for Curacao. So speaking of, there's a Sandals Curacao that Kasie mentioned there. So we're going to talk about that country and talk with their tourism board to see what is Curacao all about. So stay tuned for that and more Wander Wisely. And be sure, if you haven't done so, subscribe to our YouTube. That's Pursuing Travel with the Millers, to check out destinations, history, culture, food, and a wide variety of things. And if you're in Texas, stay safe, as we're going to have an ice storm coming this weekend. And think of the warmth here of the beach as while you're in the cold here in the United States. So with that, you all have a very good weekend, and thanks for joining us.